Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Today we are going to listen to the third story in the series of Chinna Katha. The title of the story is Lighting the Lamp of Wisdom. Once a sadhaka who had great ambition to know something about the divine, wanted his eye of wisdom to be opened. He entered a cave where a guru was residing. While entering the cave, he saw a small light. As he moved forward, even that little light got extinguished. In darkness, one feels frightened, and in fear, we think of God very intensively. Thus he uttered loudly the word Namah Shivaya, and on hearing this, the saint asked him who he was. He said that he had come to seek his grace. The great saint, who was sustaining himself in the cave only by breathing the air around him, had the competence to know the mind of his visitor. He said that he will answer his question later, but asked him first to go and light the lamp, which had been extinguished. The visitor took a matchbox and tried to light the lamp, but did not succeed. He told the Guru that he had finished all the matchsticks and yet he had not succeeded in lighting the lamp. The Guru then asked him to open the lamp, put out all the water and pour oil in it, and then try to light it. The person did this, but the lamp would not light even then. The Guru then said that the wick was probably wet with water and asked him to dry it nicely in the open and then attempt to light the lamp. He did this and succeeded. Then the person ventured to mention his need and sought it to the Guru. The surprised Guru said that the appropriate answer was already given. The visitor pleaded. Being an ignorant man, he was not able to understand the significance of the teaching and requested the Guru to explain to him in clearer terms. The Guru said, "In the vessel of your heart, there is the wick of your jiva. The wick has been immersed all these days in the water of your sensuous desire. Therefore, you are not able to light the lamp of wisdom. Pour out all the water of the desires from the vessel of your heart and fill it with Namasmarana of God. Take the wick of Jiva and dry it in the sunshine of Vairagya. Squeeze out all the water present in the form of desire and put into the heart the oil of devotion of Namasmarana. It will be possible for you to light the lamp of wisdom." The moral of the story is we have to empty our mind and fill it with Namasmarana so that we will not get submerged in this sensuous desires of the world, but instead seek for higher wisdom. To understand this, we have to understand how mind works. Every experience you have ever had, every thought, every impression lives in the subconscious mind and influences our patterns of thought and behavior far more than we realize. Now, what is mind? Mind has four parts: Ahankara, Manas, Buddhi, and Chitta. Ahamkara means the identity. It includes identity like the religion, the nationality. What is Manas? Based on the identity and the inputs from the senses, data is stored in the memory. Manas is the lower mind through which the mind interacts with the external world and takes in sensory impressions and data. Now, let us see what Buddhi is. Buddhi is an instrument for survival on the basis of the limited data we have collected with our sensory perception. It's also called an intelligence. Based on the collected data, it has the discriminatory capability. What is Chitta? Chitta is not the mind alone. It is rather the whole mind and body awareness Pervading the mind, the ego, the intelligence, the senses, the organs of actions, the nervous system, Chitta records everything that happens to us and creates in the process thoughts, desires, memories, sensation, feelings, emotions, attachments, aversion, habitual thoughts, etc. Chitta is all the stuff that's going on in your head all the time. It is a constant jabber of thoughts, emotions, images, and impressions in the mind. It can play like a movie without providing any input or intervention, running in the background whether you want it or not. It just keeps running. But if Chitta produces thoughts continuously in the mind, this Chitta can be compared to the mobile operating system. If many applications are running in the background of the mobile phone, then the mobile battery discharges quickly. It's similar with our mind. If many thoughts keep running, then it drains our energy. How to empty our mind? Thoughts come only when you speak to yourself. Speak only when necessary, not only externally but also internally. Types of mind. It is Muddha, dull mind. The second is Kshipta, the restless or the monkey mind. And Vikshipta means occasionally concentrated mind. And Ekagra means one-pointed mind. And Niruddha is fully concentrated mind. To have Ekagra, which is one-pointed concentration, and finally Niruddha, fully concentrated mind, we do yoga. In yoga, Chitta Vriddhi Niruddha, meaning we take control of the mind and we become fully concentrated. In essence, practice of yoga is how we allow Chitta to affect us and how we react to it. Yoga, we have several steps and procedures, but in Kali Yuga, Namasmarana helps in developing this Chitta Vriddhi or emptying the mind or to have one-pointed attention and then finally Niruddha. But what is Namasmarana? Constant contemplation and chanting of the Lord's name is called Namasmarana. Constant japa arrests the restless nature of the mind. When one repeats the name, one is in tune with the infinite one. It is an accepted psychological truth that our mind dwells on the objects we love the most. So if we fix our mind with an intense love for the Nama, perhaps forcibly or mechanically initially, the name constantly will remain in our heads. So, how chanting affects the subconscious mind through the deflection method and brings stability in Chitta. The residue of past experience that the mind acquires through the life functions like a distorted lens, preventing us from seeing anything truly as it is. What we want to see is the nature of the true identity, but many things cloud the picture of the true self. Namasmarana is like dusting this and polishing the mind. Chanting works to destroy the incorrect impressions in the subconscious mind. This method, known as the deflection method, helps us to benefit from chanting. Number one is through persistent spiritual practice of chanting the name of God, the devotion center becomes firmly established. 2. The firmly established devotion center becomes the strongest thought prompting one to do only righteous deeds. Number 3. Thoughts from the impressions in our mind are not allowed to go through to the conscious mind and hence reduce their influence over us. If we look at the diagram, we see a barrier which is there between the conscious and the subconscious mind. This barrier has also some special qualities. It doesn't allow the conscious mind to know what secrets are locked in the subconscious mind. However, when the devotion grows stronger, through the spiritual practice of chanting, it becomes the strongest thought to shoot up to the conscious mind. Every time God's name shoots up into the conscious mind, the barrier seals and doesn't allow any other impression to come through. Thus, any thought from the subconscious mind will not be able to pass beyond the barrier, but instead gets deflected as you see in the diagram. In this process, the other impressions and centers receive very little attention. By being continually ignored, the other centers eventually lessen until they cease to exist. So, this is another effective way in which the devotion center cleanses the subconscious mind. Our Sai Bhagwan says, mind is a combination of the group of thoughts. Manase Devudu, mind should be filled with divinity. Control your thoughts, everything will be under control. Swami says, if you keep digging the earth, the water gushes out as soon as it is contacted. Similarly, if you chant Ram Ram continuously, one day the divinity will be contacted and the cool, pleasant, permanent Ananda or joy will gush out from within you, that is wisdom. Today we have seen the story Lighting the Lamp of Wisdom and its inner significance. Number 1, how mind works. What is mind and what are the 4 parts of mind? Ahankara, what is Ahankara? What is Manas? What is Buddhi? What is Chitta? The types of mind. Why should we empty our mind? And how should we empty our mind? What is Namasmarana? How Namasmarana helps in having the stability in mind. In the story, Lighting the Lamp of Wisdom, the Guru had exactly said to the disciple how to gain wisdom by emptying mind and filling it with Namasmarana. Hope you all enjoyed today's story and all the other details and all other factors. Next week, we can enjoy another story and its inner significance. Until then, Sai Ram.